US President Joe Biden has called on his allies to stay together against Ukraine against the backdrop of the war. The group of 7 leaders are now meeting in the southern German town of Garmisch-Partenkirche. They're discussing measures to contain Moscow economically, including price caps on Russian oil and new bans on imports of Russian gold. On Sunday, Joe Biden also launched a global infrastructure partnership designed to counter China's influence in the developing world. The initiative aims to leverage $600 billion with fellow G7 countries by 2027 to spend on global infrastructure projects. Meanwhile, protests are being held across Germany, including in the host town and in nearby Munich, calling on the G7 leaders to do more to tackle global issues like climate change and hunger.
At least 5 people have been killed and hundreds injured after a stand collapsed during a bullfight in central Colombia. Video has emerged showing the flimsy wooden stand packed with spectators crashing down into the stadium. People can be seen running away in panic while a bull escaped. There are fears the death toll will rise further.
NATO leaders are set to meet for a 3-day summit starting on Tuesday. The meeting will take place on the heels of the G7 summit in Madrid from the 28th to the 30th of June. Now, the military alliance is due to revamp their alliance's strategic concept, which outlines its main security tasks, but has not been revised since 2010. NATO leaders will also urge Turkiye's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to lift his veto over Finland and Sweden's bid to join the military alliance. Ankara is angered by Helsinki and Stockholm's support for Kurdish militants and arms embargoes on it. Now, talks to gain Turkiye's support has so far proven unsuccessful, and experts doubt that any agreement will be made at the summit.
Well, it wasn't quite the crowd organisers had hoped for, but around 50 protesters still ran wild in the city, causing close to an hour of chaos with police making 10 arrests. Climate change activists gathered at Hyde Park around 8 this morning and then marched and weaved through the busy streets. Some were holding up posters and chanting, while others were far more extreme. They picked up signs, traffic cones and concrete slabs and hurled them onto the road. A handful of other protesters even picked up tables and chairs belonging to cafes and threw them around the streets. Police were picking up after them as they tried to control the erratic crowd. As the CBD rally was wrapping up, a 22-year-old woman allegedly used a hire car to block the southbound lanes of the Harbour Tunnel. She then chained herself to the steering wheel.
There were some really angry people who were screaming and threatening me.
Officers moved in and cut the steering wheel. She was then arrested and the tunnel was reopened.
Police in Istanbul have arrested more than 150 people taking part in the annual Pride Parade. Authorities had banned the event around Taksim Square, but protesters gathered nearby earlier than scheduled. Journalists with the AFP news agency say they saw 4 buses full of people who had been detained.
The police stopped the march even before it began by closing access to Istiklal Caddesi, the main pedestrian street running through central Istanbul. And the police barricaded the side streets leading to Istiklal Caddesi. They closed the metro stations nearby, and they began pushing people out of the cafes in Istiklal Caddesi, even at lunchtime. The police did manhandle and rough up the press and those that they arrested.